This local sports report is brought to you by BFD Rona, a proud supporter of the Waterloo Siskins. BFD is home to Kitchener-Waterloo's largest fence and deck showroom. BFD is also KW's only Rona store with a complete line of lumber, hardware, and building supplies. Whether you are a do-it-yourselfer or want a professional installed deck or fence, visit BFD Rona at Forwell Road and Victoria Street North in Kitchener, or email experts@bfdrona.com.
Mike McElveen is going into his second season as the head coach of the Siskins. However, they will now be called the KW Siskins, not the Waterloo Siskins. Mike, what's your reaction to the news, and what do you think of the logo?
Well, I think it's exciting when you rebrand yourself in a sense. The Siskins, I think this year is the 86th year that the hockey club has been around. And so for us, the Kitchener area, we're just looking at, again, the support and the excitement of maybe those fans that cheered for the Dutchman, that we can entice them and welcome them over to the rec center. And so that's kind of what we're kind of looking forward to for the fan support. Talking earlier, yourself and I, about that, the affiliation with Kitchener has kind of been there in a sense. We've had some former players, which is neat, like Luca Zola and Connor Bodner and even Benton Hayes recently, that were Kitchener-Meyer hockey products that played in Waterloo. So I think the affiliation with Kitchener-Meyer hockey maybe becomes a little bit stronger there. The logo, I think, looks great. It's not too much of a difference if you're a bit of a traditionalist. I love the logo, the old one, and I think they've done a fantastic job with the new one too. So credit to the board of directors for that.
How do you rate what last season turned into? Obviously a slow start, but boy, I thought the team was phenomenal in the second half. You guys really kicked it into gear. You put up such a great fight against Cambridge in that first round playoff series. How do you rate sort of the development and the process that you went through last year as a first-year head coach? And how do you kind of carry that into the upcoming season, Mike?
Yeah, I was really impressed with the players, how they bought in. It's never easy when you start. I think we were 0-8. I kept telling the players, believe in the process, trust in the structure, trust in what we're building. I think we really looked at how we competed in practice, and the culture was we pushed each other in practice. We developed these good habits, and they started to, when we started to see some results there, I think confidence builds, and when you have confidence and you have more success. And in the second half, I really look at that game 6 we lost. I thought we played maybe one of the best games of our year, a little bit of the short end of the stick, but it was exciting to see. And then this year, I look at that continuation, even in myself, the amount that I learned in my approach. And I think having the coaching staff back, and Jordan and Stefan LaChapelle came about around November, my comfort level to pass more on to them and just kind of spread that culture throughout the coaches and down. So we're excited about that. Our recruiting, we're pretty excited about. I think we struggled a little bit with putting the puck in the net. Our offense, I think, in our recruiting this year, we've done a good job recruiting some offense and some players that can put the puck in the net.
Specifically, what did you learn the most about yourself going into, you've been around the league for a lot of years, but being a head coach is obviously a different kettle of fish. Why are you better off, and how do you kind of, everybody needs to self-improve and everybody needs to grow, and it's about development not only for the players but for the coaches as well. Why are you better for what happened last year, and how can you grow on a personal level to give these players another great experience this coming season?
Well, I think preparation was all something from the start, that I needed to make sure I was as a head coach. I think last year I kind of went through our season plan as we went along weekly. This year, I think I've already built that season plan. So now it's focusing more so on little details and doing things a little bit more early on than I think we were doing later in the year. Confidence too. My first year coaching, you experience some things that you haven't before. I think after a year, those experiences for myself, I said the players gaining confidence, but myself too as a coach, and confident in my abilities and how I make decisions. And so, and for myself too, I'm always learning. I've been part of some Zoom meetings with other coaches around North America, and some college guys, some high school guys, and talking about, again, like leadership and how we can be better coaches, and how we can develop better practice plans. So for me, I'm always, maybe it's a teacher in me, I'm always loving to learn and kind of dig into how I can make myself a better coach to be better for the players and the team.
You mentioned Stefan LaChapelle there a minute ago. A new addition to your coaching staff this year is Billy Young. Tell me what he brings to the table, how you two connected, and what you're hoping to see from him in his first year with the Siskins.
Well, another, I kind of based on good people, and I think good character is really important, and that's part of our recruiting. If we get to talk about Jack, I think, character right there in a player, and I look for that in a coach, and Billy's got that right away, and he's kind of excited to work with players. He's a younger guy. He played at the Division III level out in the Boston area. So I've known him previously, knew him as a player. I just know that he can pass on some great attributes and good skill development to our young guys, just like Stefan did as he came aboard too. So kind of look at a common thread when you're picking a coaching staff, and also guys that are definitely excited to be a part of it. And he hits both those targets there.
I had an interview with Jack Fraser last week. You want to talk about somebody who's excited to join the Waterloo Siskins? Jack is absolutely pumped, and he's thrilled to be a member of the KW Siskins. I still need to get used to the KW Siskins. It'll take some time.
Okay.
But what can you say about Jack and the Huron Perth program that they run, the Major Midget program, doing a nice job developing players, and Jack's another one of those, Mike?
We were fortunate enough to have Jack practice with us. And then in the Cambridge series, I won't forget him when we're playing in Galt Arena, key time, go down and block 2 shots and get in those lanes. And here's a guy coming up and just will put his body on the line for that, and will be physical and do little things to win and compete and get ice time. So for a coach, evaluating a player, observing all the time, we're really impressed. And again, I go back to just a great kid, and we want kids that are excited and want to be Siskins, and he definitely brings those characteristics.
Yeah, great character kid, and that's a great anecdote. Those things sometimes go unnoticed by fans and maybe even media sometimes, but you block a shot in a key situation in a playoff series, that's what wins you jobs. It's about grit, and it's about just putting yourself out there and on the line. Is that the kind of team you're trying to build for this coming season, or give us a sense of what we can expect to see from the Siskins when things get going again?
Well, like I kind of added to, like in our recruiting, I think we've stepped up, that we've got players that have a higher talent level, but that doesn't always, equal success. Our contributions come in many ways, but I think the common element is we kept saying to our recruits and players coming back is players that compete each night. And that's all in practice, to me, is the most important time. So when you have a team that's willing to push each other and compete and win battles and practice for each other, and you prepare, so the games come a little easier. So I'm hoping what the fans saw that culture we built there, that we developed through the year, about a team that was going to play a 60-minute game, structured, do what they can to win pucks, and also now can put the puck in the net, that combination. So we're expecting to improve off last year. Again, we come in and we expect to challenge for a Cherry Cup, and I'm excited about the group, and I don't see why we can't do that right off the bat.
More to come in terms of commitments in the coming weeks, and we'll get into that here on 519 Sports, in the upcoming times. But who are some of the players maybe from last year who stood out to you that you want to see take on more of a leadership role? Obviously, it was a younger team last year, and that's just a fact of junior hockey, where you win a Southern Cup championship, you generally have a lot of overagers. So you had a younger team last year, but again, it's about moving those kids into good positions for the upcoming season. Who stood out to you last year, and who do you want to see kind of gradually move into different roles this year?
Well, it's so many players make up that team that in the end competes and makes changes. But you have a couple that are most likely going to move on. Tanner Wickware was a huge part of when you've got a goalie that you're confident about and your team is behind, right? I look at the games he stole for us a lot of times during the year, and also some of that leadership component, definitely missed, and we wish him the best with the Colts this year in Barrie. But returning wise, I look at players like Adam Seuss. That's going to be part of our leadership group again. Again, brings it every practice, brings it every game. Even though he's kind of that quiet leader, I kind of say he's kind of like a Bergeron there. Does the little things. Will pick up pucks. Will bring in bags. Like, again, those things to me are little observant things that are so key. I look at Peyton McIsaac. We'll have a full year with Peyton. Great young defenseman. I really liked how his game was near the end of the year and how he came into his own. Brock Krlicki, I smile right away when I think of Brock because he just loves playing. And you give him feedback and he takes it, even if it's feedback that might be a little tougher, and he wants to get better. And I can't see why that kid can't put in 20 to 30 goals this year. I think he hit 18 last year, and I think he developed so many different realms of his game. Tyson Hillier, getting him over from Elmira, again, a very high IQ player, kind of a leader I saw right away too. Ryan Fritz came into his own, and we moved him to the center, and I think he really took off in that role and really adapted as a centerman's role, which is it's not you got to be 200-foot player to play for me. You got to be good in all areas of the game, especially as a centerman, maybe because I was a centerman. So, and we've Austin Adamek, an American kid coming back for a 20-year-old year. Great speed and exciting on his development too. So these guys coming back, and I know I'm probably missing some more there, but we're really excited. I'm building on last year, and then with our recruits coming in, having an even more successful year.
I can't wait to get back to the rink. That is the head coach of the KW Siskins. That announcement coming. No longer the Waterloo Siskins, the KW Siskins, the head coach, Mike McElveen. Thanks for the time, Mike. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks, Darren. Always a pleasure talking hockey.
For more highlights, visit our website, 519sportsonline.ca. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.